Learn, laugh, huff, puff, lift. Learn, laugh, huff, puff, lift. If people ask me, Rowie, how do you become successful? I always share those because they're my favourite things to do every day. It's like my mantra for living. Learn every day, laugh every day, make sure I'm fit and strong so that I can live my life to the max. So here's my question. Are you learning every day, and what are you learning about? And is it important to you? And it might not be. But I'm standing in front of my library because to me learning, and that's the start of my mantra, learn, laugh, huff, puff, lift. Because if I'm not learning, the brain doesn't stay the same. You're either learning or you're rotting. You're either growing or you're rotting. And if I want to grow, I need to know if I want to earn more, I need to learn more. That's just been a normal part of my life. So when people ask me, Rowie, what's the most important thing to learn about? There's obviously the 4 parts to Romax every day, which is anatomy and physiology. How do I be healthy, fit and strong? To me, that's the only place to learn. Don't worry about all the other books about how to eat and how to exercise. Just learn your anatomy and physiology, then you can work it out for yourself. How to have a career or business that you love, and that's a driving force from the inside, because the how to have a career or business that you love is a simple process, and there's obviously plenty of books and learning to be able to do for that, and that's what Max is all about. Wealth creation is very simple. How to be financially free, financially secure, be wealthy. There's more books, seminars, workshops and information about all of that, but that's a simple process. Just spend more than you earn and invest wisely. The last part, the how to have great people in your life, is obviously all about communication. And to me, that's been a driving force for my learning, because if I can't communicate effectively with myself, so I've got positive talk in my head all of the time. And if I can't communicate effectively with other people, then I can't have customers, clients, members, students, great relationships with my family, with my partner, with the people in my life, because I can't communicate effectively. So I use this really interesting question, and I ask this all the time. When people share with me that they don't have great people in their life, my question is always, how do we attract great people into our life? And surely that's about being a great person. So when was the last time you listened to somebody talk without interrupting, without giving an opinion, without telling them what to do, just listening? So lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, and listen to what they've got to say. Not think about what you're going to say next, not think about what advice you're going to give, not think about, oh, I can't wait to talk because what I've got to say is more important. But to have actually the ability to listen. And there's a really interesting quote that says it's very easy to talk without listening, but it's very difficult to listen without talking. And most people have no conscious understanding, have you noticed, of how to listen without talking. Just don't interrupt. And I'll reverse the question. When was the last time you had the opportunity to talk without anybody interrupting, passing judgment, telling you what to do, or that experience, and I'm sure you've had it, where you, as you're talking, you know that the person's not listening. You could say that there's 50 hippopotamuses dancing on a table drinking margaritas, and the person wouldn't even know that you said that because they're in a different world. They're thinking about what they're going to say next. I'll ask a different question. Have you ever been in a conversation where you thought to yourself, I can't wait for this person to shut up so that I can talk? Or you felt that as you're talking, you felt that the person's thinking to themselves, I can't wait till Rowie shuts up so I can start talking. I'll give you a couple of fun things to do there, and it's just fun. Very regularly in my life that happens to me. And I very rarely talk now, I just ask questions. But if that ever happens to me, I just stop mid-sentence. I don't continue talking because why would I bother? The person's not even listening, and they don't even notice that I've stopped talking mid-sentence because they weren't listening to what I had to say. Now, the reason I'm asking these questions, are you good at communication? Is it important to you? So many people share with me that the most important people in their life are their family and their friends. I'm happy because of my family and my friends. I love my life because of my family and my friends. The only reason I love my life is because of my family and friends. So here's a really personal question. How much do you really know about your family, about your friends? Do you know what's important to them? Do you know what their favourite things are? Do you know what their favourite places to go on holidays? What kind of music they like? What kind of car they drive or want to drive? What their dreams and goals and ambitions for the future are? What their core values are? What their important beliefs are? Often in relationships we talk about our opinion and what we believe in and what's important to us. But the people in your life, do you know all of those things about them? And the reason that I ask this so personally is I often have conversations with people. When I say that, conversations where I do 20% of the talking, the other person does 80% of the talking, and the only 20% that I'm doing is asking questions. And then if you are genuinely interested in the answers, you lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, and actually listen to what they're saying. And if you do listen, you should be able to paraphrase back. And I've just given you the superb listening techniques of great communicators, which is lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, actively listen, and be able to paraphrase back. If you didn't listen, you can't paraphrase back. You can't, and I'm not talking about repeat word for word what they said, but if you have a conversation or somebody's talking to you, you should be able to say at the end of that conversation, so what you're sharing with me, Rowie, is that you love puppy dogs, you love living in the country, you're a big fan of positive people, you love sunshine, and you really appreciate being healthy, fit and strong, for example, if you'd had a conversation with me. But you'd be able to paraphrase back because you had listened. And that's the question that I'm asking, because we live in a world now where opinions have become very important to the people giving the opinion. There's a really fun quote at the moment: if you want to start an argument, post something on social media. Doesn't matter what you post, somebody will disagree with you, argue with you, want to dispute what you said, or put their opinion in, or even if they agree with you, do they ever say to you, I'd love to hear more about what you've got to say, or do they now just give their opinion? And I'll use the example again of the advanced listening techniques, which is lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, and actively listen. Your ability to paraphrase back comes with a step in between, which is pause before replying. So it's lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, actively listen, pause before replying, and be able to paraphrase back. Now, if you apply that, if you're consciously applying being a great listener, and I'll just give you as a side note, I went and did a 2-week course on how to be a great, 2 weeks on how to be a great listener. Very complicated process. And my boss at the time said, Rowie, you need to learn good communication techniques. And I thought I was great at communicating. And just ask most people, everyone thinks we're good at communicating because we can talk. Is it possible that communication's got nothing to do with talking and it's got everything to do with listening? Because how can you help somebody? How can you communicate your point of view effectively if you don't know about the other person? So the pause before replying is very interesting, because if you apply that, so if somebody's talking to you and you lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, actively listen, and then pause before you say anything, there's 2 things that happen there. One is you are subconsciously communicating with that person that you listen to what they had to say. Because if you can respond immediately to what they said, it means that you weren't listening to everything that they said, because you have to think about what they said before you can reply. So there's a very subconscious, subtle communication there that says, I can't reply straight away because I have to think about what you said before I can reply. It's like if somebody's asked a question, and you often see this on television, an interviewer will ask somebody a question and the person can answer the question straight away. It's because they weren't listening very carefully to the question. If you really had to think about the answer, you'd have to pause. So that's the subtle part of that communication. But what's really interesting, when you start applying that as a communication tool, if you pause before replying, I think what you'll find, and this is something I've been practicing for a very long time, is it possible that when you pause, that the person will interrupt you and continue talking? Just take note of what happens. Very, very rare when I lean forward, and this is part of communication, obviously, lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, actively listen. I'm sharing that with you because unless that becomes a habit, you'll never get into the habit. Every time I pause before replying, the person continues to talk. And that's awesome, isn't it? Because now I'm going to learn more about the person. If they haven't finished talking, then why would I interrupt them, stop them and start talking? Because all they're going to be doing is, they're not going to be listening to me. They're just going to be thinking about what they're going to say next, or what they didn't say in the first part of the conversation. So you can pause before replying, and it may add massive value to your conversation and to communication. But what will probably happen, and please take note, is that when you pause, the person will continue to talk. And wouldn't that be awesome? because now you're going to learn about them. And I'll use that example if you are an exercise professional, if you're a parent, a teacher, coach, a boss, or a leader, and people are talking to you, wouldn't it be really important to learn all about them before you tell them what to do, before you give them advice, before you give them information? And I'll just add another beautiful technique in there, a communication technique, rather than giving advice and telling people what to do, because that often doesn't work, have you noticed? How about asking this beautiful question, which is, if you were your own high-performance athletic coach, if you were your own high-performance eating coach, exercise coach, financial planning coach, relationship coach, what advice would you give yourself? Because the ultimate compliment we can give people, if you really want to be great at communicating, is to ask for somebody else's opinion, to ask for their advice. Think about how respectful that is. I trust you so much. I believe in you so much. I respect you so much that I'm asking for your advice. I'm asking for your insight. I'm asking for your knowledge, for your logic, for your wisdom. It's a beautiful compliment to pay somebody. So if you ask that question, if you were your own high performance, and I'll use it as an example, I've been an exercise coach all of my life. If you were your own high performance exercise coach, what advice would you give yourself? If you're your own high performance eating coach, what advice would you give yourself? And here's what's never happened. Nobody's ever said to me, I think I should eat junk food, take away food, drink copious amounts of alcohol, eat lollies, cakes, chocolates and biscuits, and not do any exercise. Nobody's ever said that to me. When I ask the question, what do you think you should do? The person already knows. People know how to get healthy, how to get fit, and how to get strong, and they've definitely got an opinion about it. But nobody ever asks them. And if they're holding themselves accountable to their own opinion, is it more likely that they'll stick to it? And that could apply as a parent, if you were your own high performance clean up your room coach, if you're your own high performance study coach, if you're your own high performance how much training should I do to win this championship coach. Is it possible that your athletes, your children, your students would come up with their own answer? And how respectful to ask the question. If we want to be respected, is it possible that we have to show respect? And could there be anything more respectful than listening to somebody talk and then asking for their opinion or their advice on what they've told you rather than telling them what to do? So if you want to be great at communication, and I've just used this as an example, if you want a great life, is it possible that you have to be good at communication? The way you communicate with yourself, the way you communicate with your partner, with your family, your friends. If they know that you care about them, is it possible that you'll have better relationships? And how would somebody know that you care about them if all you do is talk about yourself? And I'm just going to finish up with that. Most people that you come in contact with, most people that I come in contact with, don't care about you. And that sounds very harsh, I know that. But have you ever noticed that if you tell somebody that you're sick or you're tired or you're stressed or you've got an injury or you've had an injury or you've been on holidays or you've had a great Christmas, and we're coming up to the times of the year where people say, how was your Christmas? And then nobody asks, nobody listens. How was your Easter? And we just go, good, how was yours? But nobody's genuinely interested. If you have people in your life that you genuinely love and care about, how would they know if you don't ask them questions and listen to them talk? If you tell people that you're sick and you're tired and you've got a stressful life and you hate your life, is it possible they don't want to listen to you talk anyway? And I'll ask a different question. If you say to somebody, how are you? And they tell you, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I've got a terrible life, I hate my life. How much of that do you actually want to listen to? When I ask that of large groups of people, because I talk about communication to large groups of people, the whole crowd will say, no, we wish we didn't ask. So if you've got a challenge, get it sorted by the person who can help you with the challenge. So if you're sick, talk to a doctor or a medical professional. If you've got financial challenges, talk to a financial planner. If you've got health and fitness challenges, talk to an exercise professional or a dietitian or a naturopath or whoever it is that you go to. But the people in your life that you care about, wouldn't it be nice if they knew that you cared about them because you were genuinely interested in them? So if you're wanting to learn how to have a great life, could it be awesome to learn how to communicate effectively with yourself and with the people that you love and care about? And how can you have a successful career or business? How can you have a successful coaching career? How can you be a successful boss, manager or leader if the people in your life don't know that you care about them? And how would you know, or how would they know that you care about them if you don't listen? Lean forward, maintain eye contact, open body language, actively listen, pause before replying, and be able to paraphrase back. Keep learning great communication so you can live your life to the max. Woohoo!